here at home now. It wouldn't be Election Day here at Local 12 without one of our good friends.
Yes.
We're talking about Jeff Hirsch.
Great to be back. Great to be back.
Good to see you. Retirement looks good on you, my friend.
Well, so far, you know, it's funny because I got up this morning and it was cold and it was raining. But to me, Election Day is sunny everywhere. And by noon, it was a nice, sunny Election Day. But the question is, who will the sun shine on in Kentucky, Matt Bevin or Andy Beshear? You know, we tend to think that Kentucky is so Republican gubernatorially. But let's take a look at the map, and it hasn't always been that way. In fact, in 2011, in northern Kentucky, for example, there was another Beshear on the ballot, Steve Beshear, Andy's father, and he won Kenton and Campbell County. Now let's move to 2015, and that is when Matt Bevin won the governor's race. He won all 3 northern Kentucky counties. He won statewide by 9%. He carried 106 out of 120 counties. Now the polls across Kentucky, one of the pollings from Mason-Dixon polling showed it as a dead heat. Now, what happened? You know, you hear so much about turnout. It's not so much how many turn out, but who turns out. Because really, if you get a big turnout in, let's say, Louisville, that's probably going to help Beshear. Right. But if you get a big turnout in western Kentucky, out in the more rural areas, or eastern Kentucky, in the coal mining areas, that is expected to help Bevin. Yeah. The numbers, the projections were 31% from the Secretary of State's office. Now they're saying maybe 35, 36%. Which is atrocious. I mean, that's 2/3 of the people that don't vote. Yeah. Right now, Boone, Kenton, and Campbell County, as of about 1:30, so that was a few hours ago, are all in the low 20s. Wow. So maybe they'll get to 35, 36%. Maybe they won't, but the turnout is really bad.
What's the one thing that you're looking for in this election?
You know, I think we saw Christine Frizzell, and we saw a lot of people saying this is the Trump election, the Trump factor in Kentucky, and that Matt Bevin has certainly attached himself to Donald Trump. But, you know, I think that's easy. That's almost a cop-out because there's not much else going on around the country. This election, in a lot of ways, is about Matt Bevin. He's unbelievably unpopular in Kentucky, and can he grab a bit of Donald Trump's popularity to pull him over the finish line? Because if he loses to Andy Beshear, Donald Trump's in a no-lose situation. Because if Beshear wins, if Bevin loses, Trump can say, well, you know, he was so unpopular, he was going to lose anyway. But if Bevin wins, Trump can go, see, I came in last night and I pulled him over the finish line. You're right. So it's a question of really, are the teachers going to turn out against Matt Bevin because he alienated the teachers? Or will people say, you know, the economy in Kentucky is not that bad. It's actually pretty good. I may not like Matt Bevin, but it's kind of like a lot of people feel about Donald Trump. I may not like him personally, but the economy's doing okay.
Yeah, and really, the general election is still a year away. And I always say anything can happen in the last 30 days before that election. So tonight doesn't really matter as much.
It is. It's getting so much attention because this is what's going on. There's here, Virginia, Mississippi, and you know a few other things. But it's interesting that you're seeing a change in states because you have Virginia and Kentucky, which were two once upon a time. Kentucky was a pretty reliably Democratic state, conservative Democrats, but Democratic state. And Virginia was a Republican state. And I got my first job in Virginia, and it was a Republican state. Complete flip-flop. Yeah. You know, now, whether Bevin wins tonight or not, you're seeing that Kentucky has turned, the bluegrass in Kentucky has turned red, whatever happens tonight. And I don't know what kind of analogy. Virginia is for lovers, as they say, and those hearts are blue in Virginia. I don't know, but Virginia is turning blue state.
So we're seeing clues, but not conclusions.
People will make conclusions. I think they may be wrong.
Yeah. All right.
And you're with us all night.
I'll be here.
Hey, thanks so much, Jeff. Good to see you again, man. All right.